All right, so we're going to go ahead and hop into Tour Creator. So you are going to head to vr.google.com/tour creator. So from there, you're going to tap Get Started. This is going to automatically log you in. So here's some drafts that I've been working on. So I'm already logged into my Google account. It may ask you to go in and verify and log into your Google account, but again, it is free. So you've got two options here. We have templates. So with templates, you can kind of play around with what's already built, and you can kind of adjust some of the things they have built. So one of the templates that I had looked at earlier was this national park. It kind of walks you through different parts of it, but you could kind of add additional parts to it. So you could add points of interest and things like that into this, and you could also delete scenes, reorder scenes, things like that. So it gives you a little bit of leeway if you're a little nervous to get started with creating your own tour right away. But for this scenario, we're going to create a brand new tour. So first, you're going to title your tour. I'm focused on major land, well, let's just say landforms and rock creations. Excuse me, rock formations. Then I would add a description. I don't have to add a description. If I wanted to, I could also come back later and edit either of these things. So again, this is a living document. This is not something that is stuck permanently once you're completing it. So even after you publish it, you can always go through and edit it. So from there, in the category, generally you can search through here. This will just kind of help you a little bit more. I'm going to click this into science because it is actually going to focus around some of my science standards. We're going to look through some landforms and rock formations around the world. These really kind of relate to some 3rd and 4th grade standards, in addition to earth science standards about processes of the crust and upper mantle. So here you are going to have to create a cover photo before you get started. So at this point in Tour Creator, you cannot, there's not a search engine. So you do, if you want to look for an image, you would have to go to Google and download it onto your device. I've already done that. So I'm going to click select an image, and I'm going to go ahead and select that. You do have to be a little bit careful with the size of your image, but again, just trial and error as you add through. So here is the stone forest in China that we're going to look at. So from here, I'm going to tap create, and it's going to begin here. So it always starts at Googleplex. It's always going to allow you to search for places. Each place is a scene. So each scene is part of your journey. So that's really how you begin to build your tour. Now, I have noticed that if your browser is already zoomed in 100%, you're going to miss those two buttons down at the bottom, the cancel and create scene. So I typically am add scene. I typically create with about 80%. That way I can see those buttons. It happens pretty often. So if you're not seeing what I'm seeing on the screen, then you may want to do that. So the first place we're going to go is we're going to go to the San Andreas Fault Trail. So you can see this is the first location that Google has decided to put me at. This is a trail that runs along the San Andreas Fault. You can see some people that have been walking on it that were there when they took this 360 image. So what I'm going to do now is my Mr. Pegman is really how I'm going to be able to drag around and find a new location. So again, this is going to be my first scene that I'll add. So I really want to kind of find a pretty good location. As I pick him up, you'll notice a couple of blue dots that I can drop him on. Each blue dot is going to be another location that a 360 image is at. So I can zoom out a little bit, maybe not that much, and then pick him up and find some other locations. Maybe find a place that I wanted him to be that I think might be a better location. So here's one of more of the trail. is kind of a cool beginning of a hike location. So again, I can drag him around any really of the blue areas. So, oops, so you noticed as I dropped him, he went back to his little house. That's really because I wasn't in an area that had a blue dot that had a 360 image. All right, so this looks like a pretty good kind of starting location. And again, we can kind of, as we're building, you know, maybe we're pretending that we are on our own hike. So here's our little hiking group already. So as my students go, so I'm going to decide this is the first location I want to be. This is part of the trail, but I'm going to add more information about the San Andreas Fault. So I'm going to click Add Scene. So here's kind of the open space preserve. So I'm going to type San. All right, so there's the title of my very first scene. I can set my starting view, kind of like that starting view there. So then this is the first kind of area that people will see as they hop into my scene. Now we'll look in the publish side of things. Google uses Poly to kind of build this, and Poly kind of does a natural scroll as you're looking through. So this will be the first location they hop into, but it'll kind of scroll around that 360 image. So now I could add an description if I had more information. If I wanted to, I could credit different things as well. But we are going to first start by adding a point of interest. A point of interest, you can do it in two different ways. So you can add an image overlay or a site narration. In this first scene, we're going to add an image overlay. So again, there is not an opportunity to search inside of Tour Creator. So I'm going to click Select Image. I'm going to scroll down and find my San Andreas Fault picture. I'm going to go ahead and add that. So now I'm going to type in the map. So this is some information that I have. So I'm just going to give some more information. San Andreas Fault, 1700. So now when students kind of scroll through, this will show up as a point of interest. They'll be able to click, learn this information, and also view the image. So we've got our very first scene, and now we're going to add our second scene. I could add more than one point of interest if I wanted to. I could also, again, I could record a little voice recording to that as well, but we're going to move on and we're going to show you that in the second portion. So now that we've got our first kind of option, we're now going to add a new scene. So again, a new scene, it's always going to hop you back to Googleplex, and I'm going to search for another location. Look for the Fair Chimneys in Turkey. All right. Oh, what a great first location it gave me. Awesome. So again, if I wanted to, I could pick this guy up. You can see some of those dots. I love this first location you brought me to. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Scene. Beautiful. Check that out. All right. So I'm going to set my starting view. Let's see. I think that's a really great starting view right there. All right. And click Save. So again, when someone enters, this is what they'll see first. So I can always change. I'm going to title this Fair Chimneys Turkey. I can add a description again here. What I'm going to do this time is we're going to add another point of interest. So again, I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to add another image. Tap Add, and then I'm going to describe.